ASH is taking on a major commitment to both improving the lives and care for people with sickle cell disease. Here to talk more about that with us is Dr. Ed Benz and Dr. Charles Abrams, two very familiar faces for everyone here at ASH. Let's start first with you, Dr. Benz. Why is ASH taking on this huge undertaking with sickle cell disease?
Well, sickle cell disease was the first molecular disease that could be attacked by all of the modern techniques of molecular genetics, gene editing, gene therapy, rational drug development, and yet we're still treating most of our patients with sickle cell disease with the methods developed decades ago. So ASH has decided it's time for that to say status quo is not acceptable. And that we need to create mechanisms whereby new therapies are developed and put into clinical practice for all ASH patients. So Dr. Abrams and I are leading and part of that effort, which is to create a clinical trials network where we will have sites of clinical trials excellence focused on clinical studies for patients with sickle cell disease.
This is an amazing undertaking that you guys are participating in. So, Dr. Abrams, tell us more about the Clinical Trials Network and the call for trial sites and how that process is going.
Sure, I'd be happy to. So, as Ed said, the basic premise is enough is enough. We've been caring for these patients, and we're taking a multi-pronged approach to try to make a difference in sickle cell patients, just as you said. And one way we're doing it is through this clinical trials network. And so the way this will work is that we'll have multiple sites at different institutions around the country working in unison to rapidly enroll patients into trials, leading to quicker FDA approval of drugs that are going to improve the lives of our patients.
And speaking of the patients, there's also a call for more patient engagement. What's being done in that respect, Dr. Benz?
Well, we're doing a lot of outreach and interconnecting with groups, patient advocacy groups, with providers and practitioners, so they understand that these opportunities, many patients with sickle cell disease are taken care of in primary care community and community hematology practices. So there's a multifaceted outreach to make people aware, to learn what they feel the most important needs are, the biggest barriers to participating in a clinical trial. It's not easy for patients to be on clinical trials, so that we can use resources, convening power, not only to eliminate those barriers, but to actually generate enthusiasm for participating in these trials.
Yes, and with these trials, we are going to have access to a lot of data that is needed. So, Dr. Abrams, tell us more about the Data Hub and what is going to be available in that.
Yeah, so the Data Hub is another component of this multi-pronged approach for helping to improve the lives of sickle cell patients. And this will be really a registry of information. And that'll be used not only for population studies, but it'll also be a way of allowing people who have new drugs to know where the patients that would meet the criteria for their trials are located. And so again, another method that we're going to be able to use to rapidly enroll patients into, we hope, practice-changing trials.
Exactly. And if you all want to learn more about what is happening with the Clinical Trials Network and this huge effort by ASH with the sickle cell disease, you can come here, right here. We're in front of the kiosk in the sales pavilion inside ASH Central, and there will also be a session held on Monday.